5:32 or something like that, according to my watch.
Yep.
Yeah,
I use my phone.
it's probably more accurate,
Yeah.
yeah. All right, well, Mike is likely to show. He's probably coming, doesn't usually miss. So let's start off with the minutes.
Do you want to say that it's for being recorded?
I'm sorry, yes. We're being recorded by Area 58.
Okay.
Has everybody had a chance to review the minutes of the last
Yes.
meeting?
Yep.
Any errors, omissions, corrections? Hearing none, is there a motion?
Motion to accept is presented.
Is there a second? I'll second it.
Okay.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, it's unanimous.
And
Oh, here he
we go.
is.
Hey, going home up here.
Okay, perfect.
Well, we've just accepted the minutes, so we could reconsider them if you have reason to think
I
that.
don't have anything to add to them, they looked amazing.
All right.
Don't fall off the cliff.
I'm gonna try not to.
All right, so basically, the job we have tonight is to review the proposed budget, see if we have any additional thoughts or any other things need to be changed, adjusted, up, down, removed, added. And we'd like to have it all done so that when we attend the April 13th meeting with the selectmen, we will be able to have all of our recommendations ready
Right.
so that they can get the warrant printed on time and distributed to everybody in town with time for them to review it before the town meeting. So, with that said,
So I went back through after your last meeting and I adjusted any of the cost of living adjustments that are set via wage and personnel that are not contractual. I reset at 2.5%. So I can walk you through. We got, let me see. Okay, the group health is, that got lowered a tiny bit once the final figures came in. Let's see. On the COA support staff, the support staff are only receiving a 2.5% increase. There's an extra $2,000 in this line item to pay the public health nurse.
Okay.
But then they get reimbursed through a grant. So I wasn't certain if it might be better to take it out of here and then just have a grant account set up for it.
that's another line, you mean?
I had thought maybe we could just remove it from the budget and just handle that like we would any other grant, so that it's not like raising a false red flag to people. It's not beyond the 2.5.
I would not, the group health one, and just leave it as is, or not putting in the.
So that's a call that should probably be discussed tonight as
I
well.
was just curious. I'm happy to.
Do you want to discuss it now? Maybe we should while we're at the top part.
Yes, sir.
Nathaniel Sides, Winnetoxet Road. With respect to the group health line, the selectmen at a recent meeting discussed and voted to recommend increasing the amount of contribution that the town makes towards the group health premiums for the town employees. We recognize that this is probably not a good year to be asking for this. However, we thought that it might be helpful to at least list the ask under the proposed or the requested amount, and then you folks can keep the 675 as your recommended, if that's your determination. The reason we discussed it and decided to recommend or ask for more was current climate in attracting and retaining quality employees is challenging, to say the least. Obviously, we have a big hire ahead of us, but that sort of just brought the issue to the forefront. I mean, if you read any of the ads that are out there for other communities that are hiring, police and fire in particular, or pretty much any position, most towns are contributing significantly more than Plympton does currently to offset their premiums. So we thought it would be a helpful recruiting tool and equally important, a helpful retention tool. Again, we fully, the difference is a couple $100,000 from, we're currently at 50%, so 675 represents 50% of the premiums. Back of the envelope math, I think we had suggested perhaps going up to 65%. The town pays 65, the employees would pay 35, and I think that comes up to 877. So it's literally a couple $100,000, which again, we understand this is not the year to be asking. I mean, if you can find it, great, but we really don't think you can. But we thought just to at least put it out there to the town so that they could see that it was, at least was on the table for discussion going forward. Thank you.
All right, so you have one that's more recent than what I have on mine. Okay. I don't have the printed out one with the,
With what?
with the figure that he was discussing.
I don't either. I didn't put it in.
Okay, so,
Okay, that's.
all right, I'm gonna
Yeah, I
say,
didn't
okay.
put it in either. Because if it looks like we're gonna need to transfer quite a bit from general stabilization to balance out the budget.
Right.
So I didn't know if,
Well, how are we going to pay it if it's not appropriated in a line?
no, I'm talking about his increased figure.
Right.
Like, so you could either leave it alone at what the
And you're going
actual
to-
is, and we could put it out to the public via some other means, or we could do what he's suggesting and adjust the requested amount to the larger, and then in your recommendation, you could fund whatever it is, the amount that you are recommending.
Okay.
So what would be the larger amount in the request then?
877, 500. If my math is correct, please double check me.
And that's the group health line.
Yes.
877 what?
500.
And that would be 60%?
65%.
65%.
Right, and that was just a number that we came up with based on what seems to be happening elsewhere.
Other towns.
A lot of towns are at 70-30, some are at 60-40, so we kind of split the difference.
Right. But then back to Marilyn's point, so that would mean we'd have an additional $200,000
Right.
shortfall that we would
Right.
have to come up with somewhere.
That would have to come out
Voted
of,
on,
And again,
General.
it's an ask. It's,
Yeah,
it's.
This is getting worse and worse.
that would bring the amount coming out of general to 989, 495.
Out of general stabilization.
And Liz, were you able to get the numbers on how much is replenished each year?
Yes, so I have that here. My sheet. So I got a breakdown from the town accountant. So our home rule petition has 2% of the prior year's levy added to stabilization each year. You can vote more than that. However, your cap, the balance of stabilization cannot be over 10% of the prior year's levy. And I emailed this to you guys, but it was like just today, so.
Oh, okay.
But you will see it. So the town accountant was actually telling me today that she was, I had asked her to go through all the figures and update some items, and she said that she thinks our balance is actually gonna be over that 10%, so it's not the worst thing that we're gonna have to tap into general stabilization at this year's town meeting. It'll help bring us back below that threshold.
I'm sorry, you said we currently contribute 2%?
2%, and that's per the home rule petition. I can zoom in. I know that's like really small. Sorry, it looks bigger on my screen. So right now, if we had the final recommended budget in here, this is the 16,183 figure. If we had that figure, so that has an adjustment in it for the highway clerical position. They always request the higher amount, and then you typically have us factor out the unpaid vacation time that role typically has. So I put the corrected number, so this is the right number, the 16. That would reflect your recommended figure on that line. If you were to add the, let me see here, that would be the 202,500 if you were to recommend the selectmen's higher number for that. That would result in the general stabilization, like I said, going up to 989, 495. I can adjust the requested column though to reflect that, the larger number.
Yeah, thank you.
So then Liz, just back to my general stabilization question. So
Yes.
If the whole line item or the whole amount can max out at 10%. Correct. So effectively, we're saying of that top of the line fiscal 27 number, so like 1.6 million?
So it goes on the prior year.
Okay.
So I can look that one up. It looks like it would be based on roughly 11,941,234.
Okay.
And you can see right now we have 1.3,
Right.
and that's what the accountant was saying today. She
Right.
said, oh, we're actually a little over that, so we would need to spend from there anyway, spend some of
To
that
spend
down.
it down to get under that cap.
Yes,
anyway.
yes. And then the next 2% is gonna go back in there like next year. That happens every single year per the home rule petition.
And then where do those funds come from?
It's from the industrial revenue.
Okay.
So like the industrial revenue from 25 was a little over 1.3 million.
Okay.
And then adding to general stabilization, 238,824. And then that gives you a remaining revenue amount. And then 35% also per the home rule petition goes to capital, which is 386,297, thereabouts. And then the remaining from the industrial revenue goes just to general revenue.
But that industrial revenue, that's basically Cisco?
Cisco, there's current, or I don't know if that's their current name, but I
Yeah,
think
right.
it
It is.
changed to current.
Yes, okay.
It used to be,
Whatever
yes.
industrial we have is what's funded.
any industrial that we have is contributing to that, and it's all noted in that home rule petition and at the assessor's office on the special map that accompanied that.
There's some businesses up on 106.
Okay. Well, what do we want to do? Do we want to change this group health number?
I'm fine doing what's proposed to change the requested column, and then we can determine what we want to recommend.
All right, that sounds reasonable to me. How about,
Yeah, I'm fine with that.
do you agree?
Yeah,
All right, so
I'll
we'll
make
change
that
the
edit.
requested, yeah, and then we'll determine the amount we're recommending.
Okay. Are you gonna vote on any of these budget sections tonight, do you think?
I think we probably could do some. We'll just see as we go through,
Okay.
but not this one right now.
Yeah, I guess I would say, can we like quickly go top to bottom and get an idea of where
Let's
we're
do
at?
that.
And then
Yes.
go back?
Okay, so that column we've talked about. The next section, so I mentioned the Council on Aging. Like I said, under COA support staff, the two people, it's an aide and a driver. They're both getting the 2.5% cost of living adjustment. She does have an extra $2,000 in her request to fund the nursing services, but she gets those funds back through the Council on Aging grant process. So I
That's-
think we could probably take that out of here.
And that's
I-
guaranteed?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So I can work with her and see if there's a way to extract that from here so that it's $2,000 less that we need to be factoring in. But I wanted to present it as it was
Can we
requested.
reduce it to 2.5% at this point? Or you,
Yes, so your recommended amount, and I'll see if she wants to edit her amount, but it would actually be 34,874. And I can make that change on here as well. So that would be your recommended amount, and I'll see if she just wants to edit her requested amount.
Yeah.
I'll work with her on that.
okay.
Please tell me if anything jumps out to you, if anything's a red flag. I separated out the assessor's training line
Nice.
as requested. Oh, okay, so on the town clerk, on line number 198, election stipend, this needs to be changed to $3,000. It was a misunderstanding between she and I. I thought she meant $1,000 election stipend, but it's actually per election. And there are 3 elections that she's going to be presiding over. So that needs to be changed to 3,000. That happened like an hour ago.
Okay.
So it's not on here yet.
Do we have any questions or about the assessors group from line 160 to 170? Is anybody?
I think so. It looks all pretty normal.
Catherine? Any questions on that whole grouping?
The town clerk
No,
section?
the assessor's salary.
Oh, the
whole- yeah,
assessors?
the whole-
Assessors, I'm fine, yeah. Town clerk, I'm good too.
Do we want to make a motion on that section?
Well, I guess I'm good with town clerk with that 1,000 being adjusted to 3,000.
Okay.
Right, but that's the next section.
Oh, sorry.
So, no, I was just looking, we could just take a look at, if we can approve a section.
Yeah, we can improve
Wait a minute.
assessors.
Do we want to approve the assessors section from lines 160 to 170?
move to approve the assessor sections from 160 to 170 lines.
Is there a second? All right, all in favor?
Hi. Okay, hold on, I just need to write this down. So
Okay.
motion to approve
Lines
lines
160
160 through 170.
through 170.
160 to 170 SL. Okay, I'm up to speed.
All right. So the motion was made. Was it seconded?
Yes.
Yes.
All right.
Mike?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it's unanimous. Now, how about the town clerk's grouping, lines 180 to 189, 198, excuse me.
And that'll be with the $3,000 change?
Yes,
Okay.
changing line 198 to $3,000 being requested for the 3 elections, one for each, 1,000 for each election. Is there a motion?
Make a motion to accept lines 180 through 198 for the town clerk as written.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, it's unanimous.
So we have, this next one is lines 200 through 220. Do we have any question on these?
I don't have any questions, do you, any of you?
No? No.
All right, is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept lines 200 through 220 in the accountant and treasurer's section.
Is there a second? Any additional questions or comments?
No.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's approved. Unanimously. Now, let's look at the next section, 230 to 265. Stipend. You want to read those out? Anybody want to read them out? Or do you have any questions?
Does anybody have any questions?
I think there will be questions at town meeting on computers and technology maintenance because it jumps right off the page.
We have our upgraded website and like the routine, like IT type services.
Town buildings,
I mean, it's only going up by
$500.
yeah, $500, yeah. I mean, these little things, the percentages look big.
They look terrible on
They
the
do look
percentage
terrible.
increase, but like the cost of all these little supplies and everything have just gone up so much.
Yeah.
The town buildings line is for, just to remind you, and in case anybody has questions, the town buildings line would cover something that's a small expense, but not a traditional supply, not like paper towels or toilet paper or that sort of thing. So say, for example, our custodian had to run out to Aubuchon and get something small to fix something or that sort of thing, that would be paid for through that small line.
Is it usually all used?
Yes.
And I'm sorry, the $4,000 on computer and technology, is that just related to the website or was that something else?
That's mainly for the website.
Okay.
And I don't know if anybody's checked out the new website. It's really nice.
I've
It's a
seen
lot
it.
more user-friendly. And it's very easy to find documents and everything. And we had to do the upgrade anyway because of ADA compliance, and there were a lot of things happening with that, but
Yeah, it was difficult to get through, yeah. Okay, custodial services. And town council, do you think we'll be able to cover town council's costs going forward?
I hope so. One of the largest pieces of litigation was a Board of Health-related matter that's coming to resolution. So I'm hopeful that there's nothing else big that comes up, and we can kind of stabilize this year.
Okay. Anybody have any questions on this section? 230 to 265? No? Is there a motion to approve it?
Make a motion to accept lines 230 through 265 as written.
Is there a second?
Second?
Any questions, any more? No? All right. Is there a vote?
Aye?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, it's approved. Okay, here we get to the difficult part, the assessor's salary. And the Board of Health, there we go, these wonderful $3 salaries. Does anybody ever take them?
No.
Why do we even have them down here on these? Okay, the health stipend, health support staff, and health expenses. They all appear to be pretty reasonable. Any questions?
No.
Is there a motion to approve it? The three lines, 280 to 285?
Make a motion to accept lines 280 through 285 as written.
Second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Board of Health.
Or highway.
I'm sorry.
That's
That was the word,
okay.
yeah.
No.
Highway. I have to say that, and I know a lot of us have mentioned it, but I think the Highway Department did an absolutely outstanding job this winter, considering the amount of snow we had, and the roads were really kept in great shape. Far better than most towns in the surrounding area. So it's just my 2 cents on the Highway Department this year. All right, let's take a look. The administrative assistant is in
So that's
red.
the one that you wanted the updated figure in red, which is what we customarily do.
Well, and we customarily have this discussion when everybody else is getting 2.5%. Why is this line showing 7.9%? Is there an answer?
Yeah, it's because of her
It's
unpaid
because of her
vacation.
hours, because of her unpaid vacation. So when they put together the budget, they put it together based on the 52.2 weeks, or whatever it comes out to in the fiscal year. But she typically takes, on average, 2 weeks of unpaid vacation. She's not getting the same holiday pay.
Why is it all so different, really? Why is this,
Well, because she's working
Position.
as a retiree, so there's an hour limitation. But if somebody knew, I understand why they request the full amount, though, because if somebody new were to be in that role, conceivably, they're not taking 2 weeks of unpaid vacation, so they want you to understand the actual cost for that line, and because we've always assumed her unpaid vacation time, that's why it looks like such a big increase, because every single year, the amount that gets voted is always short those few weeks of vacation.
doesn't look good?
Her hourly rate is no different than any of the other administrative assistants. And she works 15 hours a week, like it's all the math all checks out. It's
So,
just a question
in
of
other
that
words,
time.
If that 7.9% was in there.
Then next year it would only show 2.5.
2.5.
Yeah.
Right.
Does she even earn benefits at 15 hours?
No, that's why she takes vacation time as unpaid.
So effectively, at some point, we would likely
At some point, you'll end
have
up having to
do
make
this
that whole.
Anyway.
Yeah, if she
When she-
decides to retire or something like that, then yeah.
But if you brought somebody in at 15 hours, they wouldn't earn time either, so you'd either have to bump it up to 19 hours,
Right.
which would be a
Right.
difference anyway.
Which I think you'd maybe have to do.
Yeah, you probably would, but I'm just saying it's not.
She really
quite
knows
simple.
that department inside and out. So she's able to get the job done in 15 hours. There is a lot to it with all the Chapter 90 reimbursements and everything. Like, I think somebody coming in new, you'd likely want there to be some overlap. So if she ever decided to retire, I think you'd need some flexibility there to have her train somebody. It's not, that one is somewhat specialized as far as what she's doing. Not that somebody new wouldn't be able to figure it out eventually, but I think you'd want some overlap ideally, and it may take a newer person a little more than the 15 hours. She keeps track of a lot for them, and she does do a fantastic job.
Do we have any clue on what we actually paid for snow and ice this year?
A little over $250,000.
Okay.
That's as of this morning, so the town accountant and I mutually agreed on a figure of 260 in terms of factoring in what resources we have available, so that amount on snow and ice is impacting us. This number right here, this less other charges, this $1,060,000, that's so high, so much higher than it looks customarily because of that
Okay.
huge amount. We have to pay that debt, so, yeah, so right around 250 currently.
But again, aren't they trying to apply for funds to help cover that?
Yes, so we've applied for FEMA relief for that big storm, and if that's successful, that'll be helpful. We'll recoup some of the costs from that last storm. And not just for highway, also too for fire and police. We put in for it for them too. The fire chief actually pulled all that together, and she did a good job with that. She worked with the highway department and the police department and put together a whole package requesting reimbursement.
Is there much likelihood, do you think, that it will get
I think
reimbursed?
so, but sometimes that process can take a
Slow.
while, and I know that there are a lot of competing interests. I don't think that the financial picture is much better on the state or national level, so we'll see, but I think it's worthwhile that we applied.
Do we want to vote on this group, or do we want to wait? Meet with the selectmen?
I'm okay with this one.
You're okay?
Yeah.
Yes? All right, is there a motion?
What's the other question?
Lines
So we're
300.
We're
line-
not actually showing what the snow and ice is in here.
No, so typically we just put in the 75 and then we adjust for it later.
Okay.
Lines 300 through 338.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve lines 300 through 338 as written.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, approved. Okay. Animal inspector, animal control officer. Tree warden's expenses, and well monitoring. The tree warden probably had a lot of work to do. Anybody have any questions on any of those? Is there a motion to accept
I'll make a
it?
motion to accept lines 340 through 365.
Is there a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved unanimously. Okay, building department.
The administrative assistant, I think I mentioned this last time, she's receiving the 2.5% COLA, but at the meeting prior to town meeting last May, the selectmen realized that she was making significantly less than the other administrative assistants, so they did a one-time salary adjustment, and they brought her up to the same step as the other administrative assistants. So that's why it looks like such a big increase, because the FY '26 budget.
We'll have a shortfall.
It will, but we think we can cover that through some of the revenue brought in from the inspections. So that we should be fine as far as shortfall, but it does look on here like a very large increase. That's probably one that maybe we should flag that may need some explanation
I would
at
think
town
so.
meeting.
I would think so. Okay. Any questions on any of these lines?
No?
No.
All right. So lines 400 through 425,
Make a motion to accept lines 400 through 425 as written.
is there a second?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous. Okay. Fire and emergency services. We don't have much to say about the fire chief's contract. Fire expenses, obviously, let's see, it's up 11%. EMS.
This includes everything that came out of the collective bargaining
Too
agreement?
much about the
It
salaries.
includes everything from the collective bargaining thus far.
Okay.
We're almost there, and I think that this number will hold and is a safe number.
Okay.
That 991.
And how about the vehicles, the fuel and maintenance? I mean, we mentioned this last week, but the cost of fuel has gone up quite a bit, and we don't know when or if it will actually come down. Is this a
She was-
reasonable figure or not, do you think?
I think so. I think so. If you were gonna factor in any extra, just where those departments were comfortable with their numbers, I'm wondering if it would be better to factor in extra in the reserve fund, so that it's not sitting in their budget lines. And that way, Finance Committee has control over it. At a
Right.
public meeting, you'd be discussing it and voting on a transfer. I think that makes more sense rather than fluffing up anyone's budget lines.
I think that makes sense. All right. So we have lines 500 to 520.
Okay.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept lines 500 through 520 as written.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Approved unanimously. Okay, police. And once again, we have nothing to say about the contract, virtually nothing to say about salaries. lower them and lose officers. Which is also the same with the fire department. Expenses, vehicles. And the training is a newer, separated line, right?
Yes, so that we can track that.
As they laid up the range across the street from me.
All right, any questions, discussion on this group?
No.
Not really.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept lines 550 through 571.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's approved. Okay. Utilities, total utilities. Town fiber, VoIP. It's expensive. Is it going to get any better, or is this going to be something that is usually like this? Do we have a clue?
Well, I mean, the utilities are the real unknown. The fiber is the price for the town internet for all of the town buildings. And that's the voice over IP, like our phone service for all of the town buildings. Those are somewhat fixed. It's really the utilities that
Yeah.
are kind of the unknowns.
Yeah. And they haven't been going down, that's for sure.
No, they're supposed to be going up.
Yeah. Do you think these are reasonable?
Yes.
At this point? Are there any motions on this group?
Just point of clarification.
Yep.
Town building utilities, how is that different from?
So the town building utilities is the library, this building, and the old townhouse. And then there's the fire, I don't know why it's been called town buildings for a long time now. That's really townhouse, old townhouse, library. Highway carries their own, and fire has their own, and then up here in line 567, that's also includes the police, their utilities.
Is there a reason highway's not here with everything else?
You know, I don't know why we didn't do that. Like, we moved this, I want to say, a year or two ago. Oh, I think it's because they include theirs in their general expense budget. They pay their utilities out of their general expense budget, so they're not paying it. They don't have a separate budget line for theirs. I mean, that's something in the future that we could have called out
Right.
and maybe do
Why
that.
don't we bring that out so
That
that we
might
have a
make
better
sense.
overall picture?
We also pay for the street lights and everything too. And some of it's a little funny how we get billed, like some of it gets billed to like all different accounts. So sometimes there will be things, for example, that go to the library to be paid, but it's actually for a street light somewhere in town that we happen to own.
Oh, yes, fuzzy math.
Would it be helpful if where it says town buildings, utilities, if I specified something?
Yeah,
Like
that
I can I can try to adjust that. Let me make a note.
More information's better.
Okay.
All right. Any further discussion on that group?
Nope.
Hear a motion?
Make a motion to accept lines 567, wait a minute,
They have the old numbers from when they got moved.
We do read these. Through 517 as written.
Which includes line 270.
270, inclusive of line
Yeah.
270?
Otherwise, it sounds a little funny.
Yeah.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, approved. Okay, emergency dispatch services. It's at 2.5%.
It was supposed to go the other way.
I thought it was supposed to go in the other direction,
Still waiting.
as of what we were told a
Still
few years ago. We were naive.
10 years ago.
10 years ago, yeah, we were
Yeah, it was
naive.
It is going the other direction.
Yeah. right. Well, that's a positive way to look at it.
Yeah, I suppose so, if it's
Still-
not
still
going.
behind inflation.
It's not gone more than 2.5%.
And they've got more towns involved in it, too.
That was supposed
That's the
to,
promise.
Yeah, that's right.
You get more towns, the price goes down.
that's right,
correct.
that's what we were told.
That's the benefit of having a buying group.
Over time.
Any comment on that?
No, it's gonna go up, I believe, by another 2.5 next year.
Yeah,
We could ask them how many additional towns we'd need to get involved for ours to go down. Make it like
But then they're gonna need a bigger space.
3 to 5
That's
years,
right.
nothing goes down until
Right.
that town's deal is done with. Is that what it was last time?
And then what if they
Yeah, I
need a
think so.
bigger space?
Yeah.
So you're saying there's a chance.
So then the more cities and towns they have, that means the more dispatchers they need.
so what do we want to do with line 590?
Yeah, I know.
Is there a motion?
There is
I know.
emotion.
Yeah.
There will be a motion, well, there is now a motion to accept begrudgingly line 590 as written.
Yeah, the economy, yeah, economy of scale is
Yeah.
not working.
It's not, that principle doesn't seem to apply.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. The Veterans Agent.
Roxanne.
Let's see. Administration and benefits. And the Veterans Agent's up a little more than 2.5% because,
I gotta check that. Let me check the wage and personnel chart on that one.
So we're not going to vote that one then?
no.
Okay.
Yeah, leave that one out. And then on the veterans benefits, we do get that money back again. It just takes a while to get that reimbursement in, and that is completely necessary for the benefits that are being provided. But the town does recoup those funds.
So do we want to
There are
hold?
benefits out there? I didn't know about.
Yeah, you gotta meet with the veterans agent.
I gotta meet with her anyway.
All right, do we want to leave this section until we get some more information?
Steve has had a chance to
All
talk
right.
to her.
Okay, so you're gonna hold on that
Hold
one?
that one.
Okay.
The library.
So library director, I had made an adjustment today to bring that back down to the 2.5. So the correct figure there is 87,125.
Okay.
And the support staff is 48,487.
And that's 2.5.
Yep.
And expenses, I mean, they're required to do a certain amount of expenditures, aren't they?
Yes. Yes, and they have to maintain like their sales membership and all of that for their network and everything.
Any questions on that?
No, I don't think so.
Are you okay with the library expenses?
Do we know what that increase actually is?
It's just the cost of everything has gone up. Nothing really new or different.
Yeah, right. And it's still behind inflation, real inflation.
Dollar-wise, it's not huge.
No. All right.
What do you want to do?
Make a motion
To accept it as written?
to accept it as written, lines 620 through 625.
Second.
Is there a vote? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, it's carries. It's unanimous. Elementary school costs, 4.4%.
Want me to offer clarification on that?
Sure, please.
John Williamson, Main Street, is chair of the elementary school committee. This represents actually a 2.5% increase, plus the $84,000 in tuition and transportation for the 2 additional vocational students that have indicated their intention to apply to the Bristol Aggie. The good news is that our Chapter 70 money funds have increased by, I think it was 94,000. So while this shows up as a 4.4% increase, it really is a 2.5% because the increase in Chapter 70 that we should get based on the governor's budget will offset that difference. Of course, if either the students decide not to go or don't get in because it's a lottery system now, then there would be that additional freedom in the school budget. We also had an additional special ed placement with tuition and transportation for $140,000. On top of this, would that require us to do some cuts at the Dennett? And so we will just have to see as we continue through the rest of this year into to the summer as to whether we have any room in the budget to restore some of that cut.
Thank you. Any further discussion?
Seems pretty straightforward.
Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to accept line 700 as written.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. Regional school.
Offer some thought here too. Speaks well to it though. Silver Lake did vote a 2.5% budget. So what you see here are 2 things that caused the increase. One is that we obviously pay to Silver Lake based on number of students as a percentage of total students up at Silver Lake. And we had a drop last year. If you recall, the increase was close to 0. This year, we had an increase in the number of students, therefore our allocation changed. And so even though they voted a 2.5% budget, we had to pay an additional percentages because of the number of students we have there. Additionally, I believe this number also includes the 70,000 that is falling off of the debt and interest. It's about 70,000, I guess, 6 or 7,000 that is going to go into the new capital, or into the capital stabilization fund for Silver Lake to try and deal with the some $60-odd million in capital expenditures that they need to put into in the next 10 years. So they have to, this is a way to be able to have the towns fund this so that we don't have to come up with a big
Has Kingston
finance
already
debt.
had their town meeting?
I don't think so. I think it's
I
soon.
don't think so.
Soon?
I usually see signs for that going to the...
I think it's soon, early April, right?
We need $700,000 as well.
Well, this is 70 for the RPs, yeah, 700 I think is the total. Or 10%. And we're gonna run into the same issue with the debt.
Yeah, we're going to be running into a lot of issues. It's a problem. It's a big problem.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you have to maintain these buildings, and the cost to build a new building is exorbitant.
Um,
It says Kingston's town meeting is May 2nd,
May 2nd.
Second. That's later, isn't it?
according to my friend, Mr. Google.
Yeah.
I thought I read something about Kingston.
Yeah.
And what about Halifax? When did they vote? Do we know?
I don't.
Let's see what we
He's
still.
consulting with Mr. Google.
You can tell.
I believe Halifax has an override on them
Oh,
May
right.
11th.
They have an override. Okay.
for 1 year.
May 11th.
Do we have any idea of what those other towns are planning to do?
My understanding is Kingston was in favor. At
Is in
least-
favor,
well,
or-
At least
At least tentatively.
the Board of Selectmen and the Finance Committee were supportive, well, we said they're supportive of it. I mean, it's in clear need, and if they can pick away at some of these items over time. Halifax may have been supportive, but they have so many other financial issues to try and consider, and dire consequences to the elementary school should the override pass.
I'd like to hold this section. and
Okay.
Discuss it with the selectmen. That's my opinion. I don't know how everybody else
No,
feels
I'm
about it.
Fine with that as well.
All right, so we'll hold regional schools for now.
And maybe ask Jason to be part of that discussion.
I will send him the date, and it's going to be April 13th
Speaks
at
much better to it.
5:30. Okay.
The reserve fund. So now.
So do you
we
want to
probably-
add
yeah,
a little more?
Let's add a little more.
Do you want to do like, make it like 165,
I was thinking a little more than that, but
170?
what do you think? What does everybody think? Adding to the reserve fund. I think we're going to get a fair amount of use out of it, as we always do, but
Because what do we normally do? 10%?
Roughly. But where there are some unknowns with like potential fuel costs
I
and
know,
that
it's
sort of
different.
thing, I think it might,
175?
I was thinking 175.
Yeah.
all right. I will make that adjustment.
Did we, I can't remember, were we holding the top sections that we didn't vote on, or were we going back to those?
I thought we didn't, which ones?
I think we just started partway down.
Pardon me?
Didn't we start partway down?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
started.
Yeah, so we
We started.
still didn't do the general government, the second section, or the first one, and you haven't voted this last one
Okay.
yet.
Well, we can go back to those two.
All right. Do you want to wait on this one? Or do you want to vote this one?
We haven't even looked at the rest of it, but the rest of it's down. Police station debt's down. I think we can vote on this section. I think we've got to
Okay.
go back.
With the change from
With the change
160.
to 175 for the reserve fund account.
Okay.
Is there a motion?
Yep. I'll make a motion to accept lines 800 through 825 as written, with that one change to the reserve.
Second.
All in favor?
It's 800 to 825?
Yep, 800 to 825.
Yes.
And
Aye.
And it's 175.
Reserve fund
For the
is
reserve fund is
800.
170.
Adjusted to 175.
800 increasing to 75. Okay, yes, I am also in on the vote. I'm good.
Did we vote on it?
I don't know, but I
Well,
feel
let's
like
vote on it.
I,
I'm not sure we voted on
We
it,
didn't
no.
vote yet.
All
Okay.
right, so there's a motion.
There is a motion. Steve seconded
All in
it.
favor?
aye.
Aye.
It's unanimous. All right, now let's go, what, we have to do the debt to pay the debt exclusion, debt and interest.
Oh, no, that's
That one's
just the
there.
total.
That's just, oh, sorry.
So all good on that. So
Right.
if you want to go back up to the first two sections. So the
Page.
So,
The real one that I think you'd be considering is what you want to do with the group health line.
yes.
The proposed number revised is the 877,500.
But I guess if we're voting, are we just voting at the 675, if that's what we decide?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it would be really confusing if you voted anything in between, because that would not equate to, like, then we'd be trying to back out the math to get the percentage split. And if it's only gonna change a tiny bit, I don't think it's worth.
All right, so I'm missing a page. Oh, here it is. I can't find that. All right, here we go. Yes, okay, so lines 10 through, we're going to hold off on total insurance and pension. Is that the feeling everybody has? Do we want to wait for the selectmen?
Okay.
Yeah.
So we're not voting that?
We're not voting.
Okay.
And
And then total
total
general
general government. What's the consensus on that? Only 100 to 145.
I'm okay with that section.
Any issues? Anybody have any issues with that section?
Questions? Nope.
No? No?
See it?
All right. So,
Make a motion to.
Because wait, was that the COA support staff? Was there something with that?
Yeah, you had me switch it to 34,874, which
Right.
is the 2.5% increase.
Okay.
And I'll find a spot, I'll make sure that she has an account for the grant.
Right.
I just didn't, it's not changed there yet.
Correct.
But it
It will be,
But
I
we're
have it
voting
right
it
here. You're
as if
voting
it-
the updated, the
Got it.
34.
Okay.
34,874.
Good?
Yeah.
All right, so make a
Well, then-
motion to approve or accept lines 100 through 145 with the adjustment to the COA support staff line that Liz is going to make.
Yes.
Give it a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
It's unanimous.
I have a cattle prod under the table here. Like,
Let me see if I can zoom in a little better. Okay. So this is what we have for articles so far. People do have until Monday to submit, so I can't say for certain that there won't be anything else, but as of today, this is what we're looking at. So I'll just walk you through them. The unemployment one, I do want to check back in with the treasurer. This was to cover, so normally we only fund that at about $1,000 just as a placeholder. This was to cover somebody who is no longer employed by Dennett Elementary School, but I believe that that person may be collecting retirement now, so we need to figure out what that shortfall is going to be. Right now, I believe we're in about a $3,000 deficit in that line currently. So this was the initial estimate from the treasurer for special town meeting, but this may be able to be reduced a little bit. The treasurer felt strongly that we needed to do the OPEB contribution. We did not do one last year. Fiscal audits, that's the annual audit by the independent auditing firm. Leases, so I can break this. This gets broken down on the town meeting warrant. It tells you what each item is for. This encompasses a police cruiser and radio lease, 2 highway department truck leases. There's something else in there I feel like that I'm not thinking about right now. And then the fire department, the fire chief is requesting a new vehicle. So this includes the first year lease payment for a new vehicle for the fire chief. So when you go to vote these, I wasn't expecting you to vote anything tonight. I thought we'd do that on the 13th.
Yeah.
And by that point, I'll have the warrants all drafted up so you can clearly see everything and vote your recommendations. And as soon as I have all the articles finalized, I'll get that more lengthy language out to everybody, just so that you can start thinking about it. Like if you have questions or concerns, if you want to reach out to any department heads about any of the articles that involve funds, that sort of thing. So while I'm working on drafting the warrants, I'll get anything that has like a dollar figure associated with it out to you ASAP. Building maintenance and repairs, this is the customary article that we have to replenish that larger article. That's for any number of things whenever things go wrong here. Every time we have a flood or the septic system stops working.
What about the fire station? What's happening with that? I know there were a number of complaints about the fire station.
There were, but at last check, the fire chief was working with the town properties committee on some possible solutions, and I believe they came up with a plan for some of the different citations. Like one of them, I believe, and Pierre, feel free to jump in if I'm saying anything incorrect. I believe like one of the violations, for example, is the electrical panel being too close to the water pipes, and TPC has factored in that with the water project being done, it wouldn't be a big job to just move those pipes, but if that can't be done, they've also identified a backup solution of a method of actually covering the panel. So there are different solutions at play, and when I spoke to the fire chief earlier today, she didn't see a need for an article, and unless, is TPC, do you think gonna wanna put in anything for the fire station, or do you wanna hold on that?
No, I think we can just go.
Okay. Yeah, so it sounds like you guys are on the same page then.
Okay, thanks.
Let's see. Double auger blower for highway. This is a piece of equipment that they need. I'm not a super technical expert in this, so don't ask me what it is or what it does. I'm assuming some sort of snow blower type of thing. I could be mistaken. I don't know if I'm on the right. Somebody help me out here.
You're right. It's probably just an attachment for,
Okay, that would make, for the Kubota or whatever it is that they, okay. Rob is prepared to explain exactly what it does and the need for it, and this is the full cost, and the machine is expected to go for many, many years, so it seemed like a good investment when it was explained.
certainly be the right year to ask for that piece.
Yeah, I think so. But the year's old, the snow's over.
The IT article replenishment, this was to finalize some of the larger scale IT improvements that were being done. At the police station, they were down to one server. It's some larger scale tech stuff that regional dispatch was also involved in. So it's possible that all of the funds won't totally be necessary, but then they'll just remain there as other IT needs come up. But it's kind of like the final phase of that IT master plan that was created with those things in mind. Road construction, so Highway Department asked for $250,000. I communicated with Robbie today. He said they could get by with 200, but anything less than 200, given the condition of some of our roads after the storms, he can't live with. So 200 was like the bare minimum. The bylaw codification, that's for the town clerk. Assessors recertification, so this is for PK for their provider, and there will be a detailed explanation in the warrant article of what exactly that's for, but it's for the assessor's office for the annual costs. I believe that they're recertifying values.
You'll have to do property inspections.
Yes, okay. The school phone system, this is the phone system that you guys had talked about, and I know he put in the budget earmark, but we don't know if that'll...
The phone system is at its end of life,
Yeah.
and it's across all of the schools, and so this is the cost for the Dennett. The Dennett roof is also at end of life. This is a sum that they're looking in addition to the regular building maintenance in order to do some more intensive repairs to be able to get it to survive till we can get a replacement and hopefully an MSBA grant in order to help pay for it. But that's still going to be a big ticket item. And then the Dennett building assessment, this is a sort of reduced cost assessment to look at everything except the roof.
Who does that?
Typically, you hire an architectural firm, similar to like Habib Associates, who's done work for us. It's exactly what they did up at Silver Lake. So they're going to look at the, all the different systems, water system, water filtration. They're going to look at fire systems. They're going to look at building siding, windows, HVAC. And this is in order for us to be able to come up with a rather depressing report like Silver Lake has that tells us what needs to be done and in what order.
How often is that done?
It has not been done in my 11 years of being on the school committee. We did have the roof done back in 2018, 2019, so we know what horrible shape it's in. And estimated cost back then was 1.3 or 1.4 million to replace the roof, so we're probably looking at 3 today. but if we can get an MSBA grant, that might cover a third of it. But the whole point of this is that we do know that we have 7 HVAC units on the roof. One was replaced in the end of 2020 with CARES Act funds because it quit and we could use that. So that was $30,000 a unit. Today costs anywhere from probably about $100,000 to $120,000 for the same unit. So we have 6 to replace. And then we also have what they call port event units in each of the classrooms. And each of those is from the 2003 renovation. So all of the HVAC except for one unit is 22, 23 years old. So we expect that's going to be a challenge. But so that we know where to go and how to do it, you get a report like this to be able to prioritize and get rough cost estimates so that we can figure out how best to pay for some of these things. All 3 of these items, Jason Frazier has been working with our state senator and state rep on earmarks. So if we are able to get the earmarks, then we will pass over them at town meeting. Or if we get them after town meeting, then we will not use the money and we will return it to the town.
And the grant match?
Yes, that's, the fire chief put that in today. She's applied for a grant for some radios and is hopeful that she'll get the grant and needs the funds in place for the match. So I can go to the other spreadsheet, but just so that we're all on the same page here. This is the total of warrant articles for annual, the 20,000 from the special brings us to this total here. No, I don't want that. And then over here for funding sources, we have, I put the 20,000 from the special to come from free cash. And then I noted on here the items to come from capital. And then we add the police station debt with, that's the budget line that we customarily put the hold on. And we transfer the 147,000 from capital. So that brings us to 496 coming from capital, which on here,
Can you flip back for 1 second?
yes.
Under special? I think you need to fix your total.
Oh, I need to fix this right here.
Yeah.
Probably don't have the cells. Let me make a note. 20.
I don't know if that changes the total. at the
It
bottom or not.
doesn't. It's
Okay.
correct on here. So that's for the annual, and then free cash, we have 190,829 in free cash. We'll be using 20 at the special. And then we have the remainder listed here to be used for the annual. This is incorporating $60,000 from the sale of town property fund, $275 from ambulance, and this estimate now is not quite accurate because of the changes that we made this evening. So I'm gonna need to update this number. But that gives you kind of a general idea. Your reserve fund is still fully intact at 154,000. And we were able today, we had our remainder of funds that had been allocated for, it was like local ARPA projects, funds that we had committed that some people were able to identify alternative funding sources for. So we were able to essentially cover the legal budget deficit issue for this current fiscal year from that. which is really good. So that was done as like a revenue replacement item, which was allowable under that type of funding. So that's why you don't see a placeholder right now for legal budget deficit on the special, because we were able to take care of that today. So if there is a deficit at the end of the year in legal, it's going to be minimal. Certainly something that could be satisfied with the reserve fund and with plenty left over.
The sale of town properties at 60,000, is that the total? that is in
There's
that
a
fund?
little more in there. We could wipe it out if you wanted to. I want to say there's 63 and change in there. I can get an up-to-date figure from the town accountant.
Okay.
And the ambulance fund, that seems to be the figure that we traditionally use?
It is. And I didn't know if you wanted to deviate from that. This is all up to you guys, but I wanted to program everything in to just kind of get a general sense. So as of today, the ambulance fund has this 562,774. That's accurate as of today.
How much on average gets put in every year? Do we know?
It varies like quite a bit. I don't know, maybe like 3. Like it depends on the number of transports and.
Mutual aid calls.
Has there been any discussion about, I think the last ambulance was over 300, and I believe an ambulance today is 5.
Correct.
Yeah.
So I assume we wouldn't be buying an ambulance outright when we need to replace A2.
And A2 is, according to the fire chief as of today, does need to be considered for replacement, so.
It's been limping along for a few years.
And then the engine 1, the chief received some disturbing news about engine 1. It was out for repair, and the place got back to her and said that they think that the whole pump system might be, like there might be nothing more that they can do for it. So they shipped it off to another place to see. And when she said, well, wait a minute, let me inquire, they said, oh, well, it's already on its way. So, yeah, so, and,
Suggesting it doesn't do much without a pump.
right.
Right.
In
So,
this
so
town in
engine,
particular.
it might be curtains for engine 1. Just putting that out there.
But I guess has there been some discussion to start thinking about how you fund an ambulance if we don't have the, because I think last time we just paid for it outright.
We did,
But you clearly aren't going to be able to do that.
Correct.
If you're.
we
putting out
constantly keep
75
tapping it every
out.
single year.
So you're going to have to then pay a portion of it and then take out of the ambulance fund to pay.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So there are definitely some decisions to be made.
Let's just say worst case scenario, we need an ambulance and engine in the same year.
Right.
If we were to finance both, can you pay for the debt out of the ambulance fund for both the ambulance and the engine?
I believe you could, because the engine would be, like you typically have to maintain the ALS status, you typically have a paramedic always on duty. So I think that an argument could be made for that, but don't quote me on that, I'm not entirely sure. But I would think a logical argument could be made, because that engine, there's always a paramedic on staff. So you could technically say that EMS is staffing that engine.
Engines and over $1 million. And then in a 3-year wait. And I don't know what the wait is on the ambulances right now, but it was 2. Is it 2? And then the question is how big is an engine compared to engine 1?
Do you have any?
2.5% bigger.
Probably so.
Is that the magic number, Nate?
Probably
Or do you have to spend more to?
Not if you keep up with inflation.
On that pleasant note,
so I can update and get everything out, but this is generally what we're looking at. Obviously, this number here to come from general stabilization is going to change a little bit. Same thing with this number up here, this recommended 27 budget. The warrant numbers may change a little bit, but this is kind of generally,
Yeah, we're in the ballpark right here.
yeah, yeah. I mean, you could take less from the ambulance fund, but then it's gonna be hitting general stabilization more, so sort of a trade-off.
Is the chapter 70 estimates, does that show up in the cherry sheets?
That's already factored in, that is right here, that 1.6 number.
And could,
There is a bill that's being pushed hard, and whether it will get through is to make some changes to the rural aid.
Okay.
And it's more so than just throwing money at it. It also would, within that, would allow for certain reimbursement of special ed costs in the year that they're incurred, not on a 1 year later basis. Now, that's not all of it, but at least that
Okay.
would have helped to offset the 140,000 we would have gotten some back within the fiscal year. So I know that Jason's paying particular attention to that.
to get back to the ambulance fund, just a question, I'm suspecting I already know the answer, but can general stabilization be used to buy an ambulance? Probably not, right?
You mean-
That's an interesting, I mean, it would be a 2/3 vote. I would think you could use it. I would have to check on that. I
But I
don't,
mean, when we're trying to decide where sources come from, the ambulance fund can be used for an ambulance at any point.
correct, and typically, so this 275, like, obviously, we're using that to offset the fire and EMS salaries line. So I think that would be doable. We just have to make sure we were using the correct mechanism when voting it.
Right, right.
And I need to go through all of this with council too, when we're like looking at the motions and everything, to make sure that we're not outlining like general stabilization to be used as a funding source on something if it's not allowable. So he'll help us out with that and just kind of check everything over.
And then I don't suppose the chief shared, or maybe doesn't have the information yet, but if we couldn't refurbish a pump, is there a reason that they couldn't just replace it, rather than replacing the whole ambulance? You might not know.
I don't know, though, she made it sound like it was.
Pardon me, I'm sorry.
The engine, I knew what you meant.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I don't know, I don't want to speak for her. It was a very brief
That's what it sounds like.
conversation that she seemed kind of
It was like 500
alarmed by it.
So then if we
Yes,
take
it's a huge
250
portion
out
of the
or
cost of the
275
vehicle.
out, we probably shouldn't.
Otherwise, it's just a
And then-
drop.
But that's why
You'd be
I asked like
surprised,
next
they're
year.
not that
We
expensive.
could probably think like 300 might.
They're
get it back in.
expensive, but they're not 500,000. I mean, I
Oh.
can see you paying 50 to 75,000 for a pump.
Didn't we just rebuild it a while ago? Or was it the other engine?
No,
No.
we did,
That was the other one, wasn't it? We had the
Engine
engine one
no,
article,
Engine
but
One had work done to it, but I don't think it was.
it wasn't the rebuild.
Oh.
Because that article was kicking around forever, and it kept getting repurposed.
Yeah, I mean, it was the new truck when I moved to town. So
Okay.
It's 27 years old.
It's the
I mean,
infamous
that's-
Smale
that-
pump.
I mean,
It was a truck when I moved to town.
The new truck, our new engine is what, 12 years old now, 13?
I think so, yeah.
I mean, we don't think of it, but the stuff ages. So,
And back then, the tanker was a old oil truck.
yeah, it used to leak water.
Is there anything else we need to do tonight?
I don't think so.
Can we find somebody that would like to make an enormous donation to the town of Plympton, please?
So I had on my calendar that our next meeting was April 6th. Are we not meeting then, and we're just waiting until the 13th?
I don't know if I can do the 6th, but if you wanted to meet in between, you certainly
Want to?
could.
I don't know that we need to. Do you want, what's everybody's thought on that? Do we want to meet before the 13th or not?
I don't think we need to, I mean, we just went over quite a bit.
I know, we did.
Because everything else that we had left to vote on, we said we wanted to wait and talk with the selectmen
With the
anyways.
selectmen, right.
If anything major comes up, like say within the next week, if we get any articles that are totally unforeseen or something, you could always call a meeting then, and I'm happy to
Right.
post it. and-
Right,
Okay.
we could do that,
So
yeah.
I'm going to take this one out.
Yeah, you can take it out, or you can put a question mark next to it. So is that it?
Done.
That's all I have.
All right, is there a motion to adjourn?
Make a motion to adjourn?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. 7:03.
7:03.